Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back.
When I'm ready, and not before.
We will be best friends, beast, until we slaughter you!
I'm ready, and not before. Much clutter.
Ah, our relic hunter returns.
You could make a regular go at this.
How about it, hero? Leave behind your warmongering ways and work for us.
No? Well, never mind. In any case...
Here's that reward we promised.
Anything you need, just ask.
Be careful.
Yes? Good luck.
Welcome.
Can we be of help?
Exile.
Hello.
I see and feel.
You have done well, but our concoction requires both acid and powder. Return to me when you have collected the second partner in our corrosive duo. Remember, humanity needs us.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty. An emperor must bear two blades. Hope in the left hand, surety in the right.
When I'm ready, and not before.
The ember is a seed, the black core of the beast's heart. It is the pure, undiluted essence of corruption. Everything my pet once was, all of its power, the stupefying effect it had on us gods, it all dwells within this dark ember. With this, we shall lay Kitava to waste. The once-starved god shall fill his gut and pass on into oblivion. Kitava will fall, and the ember shall disperse into nothing more than ash dancing across the cobbled rooftops of Oriath. Farewell. Love. You were too beautiful for this ugly world. I shall find you in the next. It shames me to know the horrors wrought by our hands here and now. Gurukhan was complicated, but she was also stubborn, and never would have thought to change her ways. We have given her a sky burial. That is the best we can do. Even in the old times, she was vain beyond comparison. It was her ambition that corrupted her, despite all my warning words. Well, look now, where ambition has gotten you, my love. Hello.
I'm ready, I'm not before.
Okay, so now we have a choice to whom to give this feather. Whether to give it to this guy or to this lady. And honestly, it doesn't really matter.
The shadows are lifting at last, hand in hand. You and I, we have guided my people towards a brighter future. I suppose you wonder why I do not mourn? For my sister, for Oyun. Why should I? There is no sense in shedding a tear for those who stand in the way of progress. They have passed from this coil, and that is the best thing either could have done for their people. With our Porsikema removed from a shadow, the way is clear. In lieu of a worthy leader, I shall step up, and with the backing of my followers, claim the throne of Highgate. Irasha may spit and curse, yet her duty shall overcome her distaste. She will bow to the one who bears the feather, as high custom dictates. Life will go on.
Blessings.
May humanity flourish.
Yes.
Bye. My poor Oyun. Tell me, exile, did she suffer? No, I don't desire to know. She was a good ruler, wise and benevolent. Our people will miss her, and I shall grieve her as if she were my own flesh and blood. But now, Tasuni with feather in hand moves to take Highgate for himself. His followers are as blind as he, and so must you be, for it's clear to my eyes that Tasuni desires but one wish, to rise up as a god. We've seen our old gods born anew from the sand, flesh and blood where once there was only song and story. Tasuni would turn his weak flesh and watery blood into lore and legend? To think that Highgate might fall to the whims of that shriveled cock. You have brought me grief, then that is typical of outsiders, is it not? When I was 12, 3 men came out of the Vastiri plains and set their eyes upon me. They asked me for water, but took much more. When the woman of Highgate finally caught them, I was given an opportunity to enact the execution myself, an offer I gladly took. Even at 12, I knew the price for betraying the Akara. Tasuni knew Oyun was to perish at the hands of that overreaching bitch, yet he did nothing to save her. Should I ever be in a position to punish such treachery, I shall do so, with pleasure. As a child, my mother told me stories of the old gods, that they were to be feared and venerated, that they embodied the everlasting spirit of the Marraketh people. But this false queen, Garukan, she was nothing but a goddess of lies. By accepting Kira's slaughter of Oyun as a sacrifice of worth, the goddess has played her part in forsaking our most sacred tenet. Honor the mother, honor the life. The bones of our tribe mother have been ground into the dust by this divine insanity? If the old gods can't follow the very traditions they themselves set forth, then how can we? Perhaps the time has come to forge our customs anew, in our image, not those of false and selfish gods.
Yes?
Tasuni has the feather. Then Highgate is saved. It's about time they gave the men of the tribe a chance to prove themselves. Tasuni will usher in a new dawn for the Maraketh.
For all our sakes, I hope you're right, Sphinx.
Have you not got anything between those legs of yours, my dear? One would suppose that a man would like another man to rule more than he would a woman.
Well, one would suppose wrong then. Tasuni may benefit me simply because I was born of the same sort as he, but it's the future of this fascinating tribe that worries me. He's reckless and flippant of their sacred traditions. I fear, with him at the front of their Dakara, they will lose what makes them sacred. They will become like the bloody savages that wander the wastelands. Or worse, a blackguard.
Being a blackguard wasn't that bad, surely.
Never again.
Bye.
Cool winds.
Yes?
Welcome. The Plague Maw enters the Red Realm and leaves a swirling mess of living stone.
When I'm ready, and not before.
To the grove, exile. A harvest awaits.
And so my mistakes are put to rest, and the mighty general has fallen. We honor them both with this brew. Here we stand, amidst the coagulating remnants of my creation. Funny, isn't it? Once I placed my beast on a pedestal as my pride and joy. Yet now I send you to breach the hull of my pet's fouling black core. I have brewed for us a potion from the remnants of our harvesting hunt. I shall apply this fermentation to the weakened membrane and meet you within the black core where we shall further our agenda.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Just in time. Just in time.
doesn't seem right. Yes, it would appear our old friend Malachi has one final trick to play. A thaumaturgical wound to the hearts of my precious beast. This complicates things, but not perhaps so much that there is nothing we can do. Exile, listen to me. I'm about to release the souls of our unholy trinity from their decanter. Their anger will exude more power than you have experienced ever before. You must defeat them one by one to fuse their remnants into something volatile enough to coax the dark ember from its womb. Ready yourself. The souls of these three continue to surprise us. Quickly now, the hearts have become doorways. End to end, complete your mission, though I cannot say exactly what you will find on the other side.
When I'm ready, and not before. Everything dies.
At last, our trio joins to become one foul spirit. Destroy that creature of darkness, and let us be rid of this place.
When I'm ready, and not before.
You're questioning me, the great sea mistress Lily Roth, about how she so happened to find you failing at drowning on some god-forsaken fleshy piece of land. Thought it'd be obvious. Grandfather and I, we came to thank you for our little reunion here you started. Caught wind that you were playing around up here with that dead beast from the locals. So we followed your trail, dreading we'd be finding your body bits strewn all over this god-forsaken mountain. But lo and behold, what do we get? Our favourite exile twiddling their thumbs. You're lucky old Whalem's still got some thaumaturgical prowess in his bones. How the hell did you end up here anyhow? Well, I suppose you'll be wanting us to ferry you over to Oriath. Take care of that nasty cannibal god Katava once and for all? Well, we'd be glad to oblige. There'll be plenty of treasures in ruined Theopolis just sitting there for the taking, I'm sure. Say the words and we'll set the sails.
I ain't gonna lie to you, friend. You look like actual shite. Like a real big steamy pile of goat droppings. What in the bloody hell happened to you since we last crossed compasses? Well, never fear. Your favourite Captain Old Rottooth is here to save the day. I guess I owes you a bit on account of bringing Lily and I back together. I, as you can see, finally found a missing powder in my shot pouch. By that I mean my courage. Managed to make my way over to Lion Eyes Watch to see my granddaughter finally. Tell you, I don't know what in the blazes I was fretting about. She took to me like a fish to water. It was as if no time had passed at all. Anyhow, it'd be lucky for you that we did so, as we were out looking for you to offer our thanks. Followed me compass, listened to the thaumaturgical whisperings of my ship, and next we know, we'll be following a trail of blood and guts leading straight to you, wasting your time in the middle of God knows where. Ah, see you, chum.
Now that I have both ingredients, I shall brew us a nice cup of what we need. There has never been a substance more corrosive than this, apart from my dear Garakan's sarcastic wit. Let us meet soon at the blood pools surrounding the Legion, and from there we shall burn ourselves a pathway into the belly of the beast. Farewell.
What was that earthquake caused by? Some sort of death shudder from that volatile beast? I've no thaumaturgical bone in my body, yet still I can sense the corruption seeping out of the cracks in that mountain. This can't be. Why would you disturb it to rest?
Hush now, sweetie. The situation is more complex than you would first think.
The Maraketh sat under the curse of the beast for thousands of years. They've just gotten free, yet now you do something to bring the source of its darkness into our very presence. This is unconscionable. It's
the right choice. Would you rather a hostile reign of warring immortals? Our hero obviously has some kind of plan in mind. If this shift in the mountain can remove the gods from Rayclast, then I, for one, am happy to be shook up a little.
Well, whatever the case, at least we have each other.
And we are strongest when we stand together.
Good luck.
There I was, tending to the animals when the ground moved beneath me. It was like the whole earth groaned in pain, a cry unlike I've ever heard. The mountain trembled, and for a moment it seemed as if death was due to visit us, here in Highgate. I don't know what you did, outsider, but I hope you did not hurt the mountain. She is our mother, and if a stranger were to wound her, I would slit their throat myself.
By the gods, and by the death of gods, you still live. I don't know what you did, but I can sense something has shifted. A weapon has been discovered, perhaps, to turn the tide of bloodshed brought on by these sickening gods. Tell me, what did you find? No, I mustn't inquire, for fear of losing my mind as well as my eyes. Oh, I am struck by a peculiar yearning, Exile. It is as if I am a man stood on the precipice of a cliff, with an insatiable longing for the ground. Please, leave me before the frenzied voices inside my head devour my body and soul. Life will go on.
Ready to go? Just in time as well. Grandad says there's a good thaumaturgical headwind blowing our way. Well, once more, you owe me for letting you sail around on me ship. But that's okay. I'm the kind of gal who can play the long game. Sometime in the future, I'll be in need of your services once more. You can pay me back then. All right, come on, you got a job to do. Lives to save, gods to kill. Better get to it.
Welcome ye to Oriath. Smell that fresh land lubber air. Ain't nothing like the air in Theopolis, full of debauchery and pollution, hidden neath the garb of them holy Templars. Seems the place has changed a fair bit since last I were here. A lot more blood and entrails than what I remember. Well, best Lily and I stay here, where it be safe. You journey on ahead, matey, and see what blimey buggers you get to kill next. Say, you're not in the market for a new cutlass or anything, are ya? Recently unlocked the Black Crest's old armory. Found a whole shite load of weaponry down there from another time. If you fancy it, be glad to show you my stock. See if there's anything in there you'd like to pick up. Here are ways to fight.
Welcome.
The prodigal returns. Have you brought with you a weapon to free us? The ravenous one has only grown more hungry since you left us, and I fear your efforts may be too little, too late. Kitava has all but destroyed us here, and our poor departed Utula's cultists have taken hold of the city. There's little ground left to tread that won't cause the grasping claws of Hinekora to reach out and wring our pretty little necks. I see your eyes, Exile. You wonder why I am here instead of at the Overseer's Tower. I'll tell you the horrible truth. The tower has fallen to the infernal devices of Kitava. That witch, Violenta, is to blame. She lowered a secret ladder and led Kitava's cultists right to our very beds. Bannon and I barely escaped with our lives. Together, we cut through the hordes, but it was no use. They had us surrounded. Bannon created a distraction which allowed me to flee. When I last saw him, he was perched atop the rooftops, holding off our enemies, though how long he will last, I cannot say. If you are going that way, perhaps you can find him and return him to me. I have grown fond of that Templar. The fire of Namahu burns within his belly. It would not fare well for us in this war if that fire were lost. Remember, we do this for...
It is good to see that you survived, my friend. But then, you have fared far worse. The froth of a violent ocean should be no problem for you. While we have been absent, Oriath has become a necropolis, a swarm of Kitava's wretched servants. The situation looks more dire than I had first anticipated. Before we make our move, we must know what we are dealing with. I send you, Exile, as a scout, as the only scout that would stand a chance moving through the shifting forms of this nightmare. You must discover where Kitava resides. Only then can we issue our final blow. You needn't fret. The Dark Ember is still safely in my possession, and will remain so until our final confrontation with Kitava. That carnivorous blasphemy will fall like a log cut from the darkest of forests, and we shall watch him burn as Oriath and the rest of this world breathes a sigh of relief. Lily Roth is a noble... how do you say it? Scallywag? I have witnessed the rise and fall of many great men and women over the eons, and Lily is well on her way to being amongst the very best of them. I suspect one day her name shall be sung in salty taverns the world around. I must remember to keep on her good side, now that she can see me. The beautiful pirate princess hunting down the great god Sin would make for a fantastic tale, I'm sure, but one I would rather have remain in the pages of fiction. Aside from my own presence, I no longer feel the vibrations of other gods. Though there may yet be more out there, for now, Rayclast can breathe a sigh of relief. However, we must turn our sights to Kitava, who still gorges himself on those poor souls trapped in Oriath. You have drunk your fill of my kind. The essence of deity courses through your veins, waiting to be expunged upon a chosen victim. We can only hope it will be strength enough to face that demoniac of a god. Farewell.
That Bannon's a real siren if you ask me. Even after the beating he's taken. Bulging muscles, pretty yellow hair. I'd be willing to bet the barrel of his piece is longer than a ship's mast as well, if you be understanding me drift. It's a shame in all honesty that he's one of them foolish holy men. Though even that ain't so bad. Lily Roth loves herself a challenge.
Not much I can say about that raving monster. While he still breathes, it fares ill for all of us. There ain't no amount of ocean we can put between us and him that Kitava won't see as simply an extra jug of wine in his cup.
Bugger me to the depths. Nah, there's a woman who can hold her own. Oh, hey, look at her! A marvelous specimen of the female persuasion. Aye, reminds me of Meredith, me long-lost sweetheart. Oh, would it be that I could have a woman like that at my side once more? Someone to stare out over the bow into the salt spray of the sea with. Someone to warm the cockles of me heart. And a few other things in my bed at night. Oh, yeah. Now that'd be the dream. Lousy, good-for-nothing blackguard. In all me years at sea, never have I ever serviced a filthy blackguard on my lovely ship. If the Brine King still drew breath, I tell you, having this Bannon aboard would be an affront to the Lord of Salt and Scale. Him and his kind have hung, drawn and courted too many of ours. I don't rightly trust him. Not at all. Me thinks Lily is fixing to have her way with that damn blackguard. Well, I tell you, not if I have anything to say about it. Look at me. Never thought I'd see the day when old Whalem were to be the prudish grandfather. Yet here we are. Damn conscience will be the death of me. Fair winds and calm seas.
I believe Vailenta was not of sound mind. At night, we often heard her cry out in sleep, fearing unseen things. I wanted to toss her out on the streets, let the beasts of this fallen city tend to her madness. But Bannon refused to leave behind one of his own. Would that he had listened to me. Vailenta thought that if she gave us up to Kitava, the Ravenous One would look kindly upon her. Well, Look upon her he did. But what he saw and what she became is the thing of nightmares. Her nightmares, perhaps. In another life, perhaps Lily and I would have sailed the oceans together. I enjoy her presence and the conversation she brings. She has a call for adventure, coupled with a kind of optimism I rarely see. I hope that once all of this settles down, we might remain friends. I don't quite enjoy Whalem as much as I do his granddaughter, but Lily favors him, and so I will too, unless he does something truly horrid that forces me to revoke my opinion. A dark angel on your shoulder, perhaps? In another time, the presence of this god would trouble me, perhaps even frighten me. But in these days, I cannot afford the sensation of surprise. If he's helped you this far, as you say, then one might expect he will help you all the way to the bitter end, and that is good enough for me. Kitava's appetite has grown bigger than even his devotees had expected. His hunger moves faster now than his followers can keep up. I suppose the canals were the perfect answer to their problem, really. They converted them into one giant feeding trough to bring food to his mouth at a speedier rate. Before their god rose from the depths, Utula and his cultists had direction. They wished to see Kitava free to stage his horrifying banquet. I was foolish enough to believe these theological mumblings as symbols for Karui freedom. Now that their prophecies have come to fruition, the cultists have lost their minds. It's hard enough to believe the end times of your chosen religion will ever happen, let alone to last longer than the final pages of your holy book. For freedom.
Greetings.
And we will continue this in the next episode, so if you liked this one, give it a like, dislike if you think it sucked, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.